Hello. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make sort of scrapbook-like style in Canva. So you can see I've done this for all of my Twitch panels. Like, here's my rules panel. Although I'm probably going to change it from rules to something else because my Twitch rules are pretty simple. It's just like, don't be rude, pretty much. I don't think I need a whole panel for that. But this one just has a lot of cute little stickers. It's a pink theme, pretty much. Pressed plants, little watercolor stickers. I did this here for this PowerPoint sort of slideshow template. So all the titles are going to go here. I will make that available to use. Now we've just got text and background. So let me start by adding some texture to the background. There are a couple places where you can look for texture to add to your background. I have pexels just on my sidebar ready to go, so that if I wanted to search for, like, paper texture... There's actually a lot of great options. Maybe I'll use this. But there's another option. You can go to Elements and also search for this to see what Canva offers. Paper texture. I'm currently using the free version of Canva, but as you can see, there are a lot of good premium assets that I think would be worth it to use Canva Pro if you're just mainly using Canva, but I also just use Procreate and things like that, so I don't need Canva Pro. But there's some paper textures here too. Actually, what's this one? Okay, so this is kind of like a ripped paper texture. That's sort of cool. We could do that, but I think I'm going to stick with the Pexels photo I saw. So I'll go back down to Pexels. And if you don't have Pexels here, you can add it by going to your apps section. And then if you search Pexels in this bar, it should show up, and it'll just let you add it. But let's make like a papery texture. Do I want one that has like a rip? Like that? Oh, this one's kind of fun. This one's cardboard, it looks like. But I don't know if I want cardboard. I think I'm gonna just stick to paper. Let's do, and the color doesn't really matter for which one you pick, and I'll show you why. Let's go ahead and do this. This looks like a sort of recycled paper kind of texture. I actually made recycled paper that looks a little bit like this. There is a YouTube short about that, if you want to see how I did that. But I say that the color doesn't matter because you can actually add a filter or an effect to it. So let's go ahead and click Edit in this top bar. And then we'll see a few different options. You can just add filters or you can add effects. Sometimes I just use the filters if I want to make it just a slightly different color. Like here I could make this pink, that looks kind of cool. I can make it this sort of like colder greenish blue color. Or you can go back out of the filter section into the effects section and go to duotone. And there you can select a lot of different colors. So maybe I want like, this one's called Mint Chalk. Maybe I want that, maybe I want like a purple kind of color. Which one should we do? Let's do sea green. That's kind of cool. And then sometimes what I do is if I pick a color for this background and I'm like, oh, the background is still a little dark, I don't know about that, I will go into Elements and go to Shapes and add a shape. Here we go. Let's make this shape white. Or actually, I'm going to make the shape like a light blue. Then I'm going to drag it across the entire canvas. And before I click out of it, I'm going to just turn the transparency down. So this is how you can just lighten it a little bit. And then what I usually do is let's go into layers. I'm going to X out of this a second. Right click, go to layer and show layers. And then you can see the order that everything is on the canvas. I'm just going to make sure that the text is at the top. Just so that it's not as washed out by the color overlay that I just added. So now we've got a basic background and some text. Let's start looking for little decorations. So if I just go into Canva Elements and I type scrapbook, like just scrapbook, a lot of cute little things will appear. Let's look in graphics a minute. Just all these cute little papery looking things, like I could add this little swan. I could add some flowers. Really, it's whatever you want. I like to use this plant sometimes. Actually, I'm going to rotate this and put it by this flower. And if you just want to quickly put this behind the flower, on my computer, it is Control left bracket. On a Mac, it's probably just like Command left bracket to just move it one layer down, and the right bracket key is to move it one layer up. Or you can always right-click on the canvas and go to Layers to see all of them at once and just click and drag them. Then I see some notebook paper, that's kind of cool, maybe I'll add that on the side here. I'm going to move that down a layer. I'll deal with that a little more. And what else do we have? Let's go back to Elements, because they also just have photos that look cool. Let me go to the photos section. Look at all the photos they have. Let's see if any of these look interesting. There's a lot of them that are Canva Pro only, so I'm not going to use those. Maybe I'll add this decorative paper, but I don't need like this much of it, so I'm just gonna drag it this way. I mostly just want the flower part. I think that looks kind of cool. Maybe I'll put it like this, and then I'll put it under the blue flower and the leaf. I don't know, well, yeah, I actually think that looks cool. I just think that we need to add some things over to the left again. Sometimes you can find just scrapbook looking photos like this whole notebook. Sometimes I'll just add that or part of it. Maybe I'll take not the written part necessarily, but just this part. Where do I want to put that? I can put that like maybe right here. And if you're looking at this and thinking, hey, this is kind of looking busy and like all the colors don't match, that's okay. We will fix that in a bit. Other things you can search for besides scrapbook are, one that I do a lot is washi tape. And there are actually a lot of cute tapes on here. A lot of them are Canva Premium, but there's also a lot of decent free options. Like this floral, this botanical kind of tape. Maybe I will add this. Just kind of by the swan. Or I'll put it on top of this one, and then what I'll do is I'll edit the transparency so that it does look a little more like washi tape, because washi tape is a little bit see-through. So that's one way you can look like you just added tape to it. There's also just this kind of like brown tape. Maybe I'll add that over here. Anything that has this sort of placeholder background on it is something that you can... You see how it's like a hills and a sky and clouds? That's something that you can add your own photo to. Maybe I want to use this photo of myself. Oh, actually, it looks like this one is not behaving like a frame. I'm gonna take that one away. Let's look for... Let's try this one. Oh, this one has multiple photos. I don't really need multiple. I thought there was a frames... Okay, there's a frames section. If you just go over here to frames, then all of these are ones that you can put your photo in. And I see this one is here. Maybe it was just glitching for a second. Let's try. There we go. Oh, you can put one behind it a little bit. I'll just add my icon. It'll go. Oh, that's hard to add, but I did put that photo behind this one. And you can also crop these photos, reposition them. Like, I don't want this, this cleaning rag in there. So I'm just gonna drag that a little bit and hit enter. There, now that is fixed. And I'll just make that a little smaller and put it here. And then I feel like if I put this here, I want like one more thing on the bottom to kind of balance it out. So maybe I'll look for like... Maybe I'll look for pressed flower. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. This one looks pretty good. More flowers. Oh, except that one's Canva Pro, so it has watermarks. Oh, I see. I thought this was like one flower, but it's two flowers. It's Canva Pro. Let me see. Yeah, a lot of these are Canva Pro. Let me actually look in the graphics instead of the photos. Yeah, we have more free options here. I'm gonna add just this little yellow one. And you know what? I want to add a couple more scrapbooky decorations, so I'm just gonna search for scrapbook again. Maybe like scrapbook photos. And search in graphics. Okay, I actually am not a huge fan of these results. I'll look for like scrapbook travel. This one will give you a lot of map pieces. You could put a map piece. Put this, that looks kind of cool. This is looking a little crazy, but we are gonna fix that. You can also search for like sketchy style things that look like they were drawn in a sketchbook. Yeah, when I say sketchy, I mean like drawn in a sketchbook, not like suspicious. Okay, well, maybe I'll just make these like white. Okay, so this is these are all the elements I want to add, but it doesn't look very cohesive. Also, just noticed that my color overlay is not up all the way. There. What you can do is add a second overlay. Since I've already added one for the background, I'm just gonna like copy and paste it to get another one. What this does is it will bring all of your elements together that are different colors to make it look like it matches more. I might up the transparency a little bit. Depending on the kind of vibe you're going for, you can have it be a light overlay, or if you want the colors to look a little more uniform and faded, you can up the transparency so that it's more of like something in the background that is not as much the focus. And then the last thing I'm going to do for this is I'm going to right click again and go to layer, show layers. And I'm just going to make sure that the text is on top. And so here we have a just quick basic example of a games panel with this sort of scrapbooky style. I usually spend a little more time playing around with elements and seeing where exactly I want things, but here's just the basic rundown. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below. If this video was helpful, go ahead and like it, and thanks for watching.